everybody, it's Kathy, Crowder's Mountain, North Carolina. We're going to do this snowman today. I was going to wait and do this one like in the winter time when it got really cold, but it's cold here. So it made me feel like, okay, I'm in the mood to paint a snowman. So I've got this one painted and I'm going to show you how I drew out the pattern. Now, hang on to the end and I'll show you my colors. Let me lay it over here where I can see it. Okay, now we're ready to go. Now, this is really a I say it all the time, don't I? I said I wasn't going to do that no more. But it is really an easy pattern. So what we're going to do is draw a 12 block grid. We're going to have 12 blocks over and 12 blocks up. Now you know I'm drawing on paper so that I can use markers dark enough for you to see it on camera. So this is a 24 by 24, but it wouldn't matter if it was a 12 by 12, 24 by 24, 36 by 36, it won't matter. You just need 12 blocks, and you can make it as small or as bigger. You can make it the size you want it, okay? All right, so all I'm going to do now is just mark off. So if my board is 24 inches and I need 12 blocks, then that means my blocks are 2 inches wide. And so all I'm going to do is mark a tick mark at 2, 4, 6, 8, and on up through there. And 20, 22, and then the end's 24. Now, I don't know if you can see those little marks or not, but I'm going to do that all the way around and then connect it. Okay, there, we finally got our grid down. So that, I measured it off again, 2 inches wide. So it's every 2 inches, I made a tick mark all the way across and up and across the top and down. And then all I did was just connected the tick marks. So that gave us 12 blocks over and 12 blocks, okay, horizontally and vertically. Now I'm going to use this blue pen to draw off the pattern. And you'll see that some of your grid is already the pattern. So the first thing let's do is the corners. And then on your right and left side at the bottom, you just need to mark off 3. 3 vertically and 2 horizontally. So these blocks, that's already a part of your grid, really. That's 3 here. See that? That's those 3. And we're going to make these 3 over here. Now, there's a lot of folks out there that can go ahead and figure out that pattern on their own. If you want to go ahead and take a picture of it, that's fine. But if you don't, just hang in there with me. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, now up here, we need 3 over and 3 up. So that's what we're going to do there. Now, if you already had your grid on your board, you really wouldn't have to draw it again because you already really have it. I'm doing this so that you can see it and have the whole entire pattern when you're finished. So in this corner, and see where I've got mine blue, you could actually do whatever colors you want to do. Get it back up here. All right. Now see, that's all of our corners right there. Now let's draw his hat. Now for his hat, all you're going to do, you want me to change colors? Since we had that, I'll do red for his hat. So all we're going to do for the hat, there's the bottom. See, this is really a block quilt. So there's his rim. And here's the top. So all you did, you got your 3 blocks here. You go over 2, and then these center blocks right here. This is number 6 and 7. 6 and 7. And then you got 2 across and 2 down. So that, let me show you. See how easy that was to make? So you got it. Now what I did, I just went up maybe a 1/2 inch. And made a tick mark and a 1/2 inch over here. I made a tick mark, and then I just drew across so that I would have a band on the hat. And then what I did for the holly, and let me show you that. See, you see the holly here, right here? Let me, you see the holly here? Can you see the 2 little pieces of holly? So what I did, now you could just freehand that. That's not hard to do. But what I did, I just cut out a little piece of plastic and laid it down and just traced around it. And then for these little berries here, I used this little sponge thingy. You can get them in packs, but you don't have to go out and buy anything. Just use a top of eraser, and that's perfect size for those 3 little berries. So I hope you can see those little berries. There you go. You can see it better now. So you see that? So really all I did was just, I laid that down where I wanted it and traced around it. And then it wasn't hard to just paint it. I can't hardly see. I got the light, overhead light off because it was making a glare. And then I just laid another one right here. You can make as many as you want to, but I thought 2 was enough. Yeah, and then all I did was just I just took this little stamper thing and stuck it in my paint and made my 3 berries. So that's all you got to do. It's just real easy. Now your holly's going to look better than that. I know it will. All right. Let's get you back up and finish this little snowman. Would that make you dizzy? Okay. So now we've got his hat, and all we're going to do now is just go over one from the hat, or you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th one we're just going to draw down 2 lines. And over here the same way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so on the 5th one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's on the left hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's on the right hand side. So in other words, you're going to have 4 blocks here on each side, and 4 across the middle, and that's his face. And then we come down to now let's don't finish his face right now, because if there's any forgiveness right in here, we can work it out right there. So let's just go back down to the bottom, and we're going to draw his body. So over here on the right hand side, you've got those 2 rows. So on the top, so it'll be the 4th block, 2nd block over, 4th block from the top. We're drawing a line, and over here now we're going to do it about halfway up. So not the whole block, but about half of it. Okay? Now we need to look at these 2 blocks here, these 2 rows. So you got these 2 rows, now these 2 rows, and count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you see these 2 blocks? We're going to go from one corner, the bottom right, to the top left, going across. See that? All right. Then, see these 2 lines here? We're just going down, and we're drawing across where we stopped here with that. That's his little shoulder. And we went across 2 more. We went across these 4. Same, line them up with that. And now we're going to do his scarf. So can you see this? Okay. So his scarf, for his scarf, we need to go up half of this block. And then we're going to cross over. So you got this block here. This is one we're working in. So I went up half of that block. Now find the center, and we're going to go across to the center of this block. We went up half the side, and then we went across and met the center here. You see that? Now we just got to go across again to the end of that. We're lining all that up. All right, now we could draw the rest of his face. And all we're going to do is go across those blocks. See this block and this block? We're going diagonally across. See that? That's what we did. We went up, we went over 2, up half, and then found the half and went over. Then we went all the way over and met this line. And then we come in here, we drew that. But we went down here and finished his face, except for this part. Now, we're going to finish off the scarf. So for the scarf, see this block here? It's your second row here. We're going to go up 1 and see the corner of that one. Let's just make us a little tick mark there. And you see we've got that mark that we made halfway up. So here's our scarf. We're going back to the end. Right here's the scarf, and right here's that end block that we finished up. And all we're going to do is just draw and connect those lines. And then here, we're going to connect it with that half line. See that? And then just finish it off by connecting those two. And that's part of his scarf. Now we still need another part. So we're going to go down. We're going to meet it here. See this line here. Okay, so we're over 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go all the way up. And we're going to draw it down, not counting this piece of a block. We're going to go down 3. We're going to start it here though. So our scarf is joined together. So you're gonna paint all this one color. See? So you're gonna paint it all this one color. That ended up being like a guideline, but you needed it there so you'd know where to start these lines. All right, let's see what else we need to do. Now I took another one of those little stampers and made my eyes. See them eyes? I took the stamper and I made the 2 eyes, and then I just put a little white mark in there. And then I put 3 dots with this little black, with this stamper, and I just dabbed it in black. And then I just drew his little mouth on there and his carrot nose. I used the tape, really, to make that. I just made me a round dot in orange and then used my tape to make that. And that, I'll go ahead and I'm just going to draw these on there. And you put them where you want them. And then I just took my tape and made me a nose. And then I just tried to measure it out here. Make sure it was about the same length apart. And just stamp that on there. All right. Take your screenshot. See, that snowman is just not hard at all. And you could do it. I mean, there's just endless colors that you could use. What? Take that screenshot right quick. All right. So there's your pattern. And you could put, I thought about this when I was painting it. You know, I'm crazy about blues, but if you wanted red and white or even black and white checks, you could do that. You know, most of the time the snowman's hat's black, but you could put a red band here and then have a red scarf, and you could even stencil it and or just dab your sponge brush on it or something, you know, like one of them sea sponges that's got all the little holes, and just dab it around on there and make it look like a pattern or a, you know, a printed scarf. But that's it. Now let me show you my colors. And before I do that, let me tell you what some folks say, what kind of tools do I use? Now I've got a couple of videos up that tells you what kind of tools I use, but let me show you right quick. I just, you know, most of the time I'm either using a yardstick, a 2-foot ruler, or a 1 foot, and then I've got a 6-inch that I use. But you know, I use my handy dandy heating tool that only gets 300 watts, and that's how I dry my paint. Of course, you know, I keep all my paints in these bottles, these Lolive Vefe bottles, and you can go to LOLIVEFE.com and get 10% off by using Kathy with a C, 10. That's the code. But if you'll just say LOLIVEFE.com, it'll bring up all kind of different things that you could buy and use. But I love these bottles. And I used, this is a scraper, and I use it to cut like long pieces of tape like that one. It's just perfect for that. And then I use these little glass scrapers to cut my tape. And I've been using this yellow frog tape for a while now, and I like it. I like my purple too, but I don't know, I'm beginning to like this even better. But anyway, when I'm putting my pattern on here for you, you know, I'm using those Sharpies, but I use the heat erasable pens to draw my pattern on my board and get rid of it with my heat tool. And I use a card, just any kind of card, grocery store card, whatever you got, to press the tape down once you got it on there. And then to get in the little tiny spots, like if I had missed that and it needed to be white, I take a pencil, like this is a mechanical pencil, so it's got a really tiny, tiny edge, and I'll just dip it into paint and stick it on there and fix it. Or I use this giant toothpicks. Or you could use little tiny toothpicks. But anyway, that's some of the things I use. I use other stuff too, but that's just kind of some of the things that I use. And I hope that was helpful to you, and I hope you make you a snowman. And I will see you in the next video. Almost forgot to show you my colors. Okay. For the blue blocks that's on the side, I used Deep Space. For his scarf and the band on his hat, I used Indigo Cloth. And for the hat, his eyes and his buttons, I used Limousine Leather. And then the carrot nose was Island Orange. The background is Aerial View, and then the white, I used Pale Bloom and Ultra White. I used Ultra White where the blue was. No, I used Pale Bloom up against the corners where the blue Deep Space was. That's what I used, because I wanted the snow to be the brightest part, the snowman's body, and I used Ultra White. So there you go. You thought I forgot, didn't you?